Okay, Likkutei Torah, page 62, bottom of the first column. Okay, a recap. Okay, and the Pasuk Ba'Leitzchas HaNeris, Rashi says that Aaron felt bad, all the Nesiim brought Korbanos, and he didn't. So Hashem said, don't worry, yours is going to be greater than them, you're going to kindle the Menorah. So then the Alter Rebbe goes into the thing of Moshe Rabbeinu saying in this week's Parsha, when the Jews complained, where's the beef? And he said, are you going to be able to share it? So the Alter Rebbe has the 70 nations that have beef every day. So what do you mean there's not a shortage? So he starts explaining, why does the Gemara say Amaretz it's forbidden to eat meat? Because the whole purpose is to elevate the food. So he explains that it's higher, it's lower, both things are true because they're lower than the nefesh and higher than the nefesh. Down here, they're lower than the nefesh, but in the source, they're really higher than the nefesh. Okay, and he went into the explanation of the chayis of the Merkava, that the shard is the source of behema, the ari is the source of chayis, the nesh is the source of birds. Okay, bottom line is, down here, the food is lower, but higher up in the tail, which is even higher. So he says now, 1 second. He said, Basa comes from the level of Gvura. Oh, he says one more very important point. That because the food that we eat becomes blood and flesh of the person, so we actually elevate the food from a animal state to a human state. So he says, though, Basa is the level of Gvura, L'cheinu Sumka, therefore it's red. Red meat is the level of Gvura, because Gvura is red. L'chein gam achar bir v'alo. Even after you elevate the meat, it becomes part of which level of Kedusha? Gvura of Kedusha. Comes this, what is Gvura? Chesed is water. Gvura is fire. So when you eat meat and you elevate it, so now it becomes the elevation of Gvura to Gvura Kedusha, which is the burning love of Ava to Hashem. Why? Because all the behemoths and chayas come from the Arya and the shore of the Merkava. And that's the level of Gevura. Like it says in Merkavas Yecheskel, bird is Kamari Alapidim. They're burning like the burning of a torch. V'chein Asrafim Lashon Rish Be'esh. Srafim also comes to the expression Saraf is fire, Rish Be'esh. Therefore, because animals and chayos, beasts, come from the level of shor and ari, which is the level of gvura, therefore down here they're the level of gvura, therefore bisru sumka. That explains why meat is red, because it comes from the level of gvura. Moshe said, says Hashem lochem be'erev basar lechol to eat at night. Lechem ba'beikar keneged midas adin u'midas rachmim. Basar is the level of gvura. By the way, night is gvura. It's dark. Day is chesed. Lechem is chesed. So therefore, what did Hashem give us to eat during the day? Lechem. And basar, which is gvura, He gave us at night, which is gvura. B'zeh shomer Ravzal. Amaris also lechol basar. Therefore, an amaris cannot eat meat. Why? He doesn't have the ability to elevate the meat. Because gvura, as we know, because gvura is limitation, once something is limited, it can go down into a lower. It keeps going down, and it can become evil. Like it says later on the pasuk, and because therefore he's not able to elevate the basar, because he's on a very low level, he's an amaretz, all he does when he eats meat is lowers it. He doesn't have the ability to higher it. If you can't higher it, you're automatically going to be lowering it. But the Talmud Chacham is a level of Chachma. Over Chachma is beriru. Like it says the expression, Chachma does the refining, the selection. He refines the meat And then the meat can make him more excited because meat is gvura, which is a level of eish.
Just with simcha, why do we say that ain simcha elul basar b'yayin? So where's the level of that?
That's exactly that level of basar, because you're elevating that lofty level of kedusha. That's the level of simcha. Therefore, Moshe Rabbeinu said, "Ma'ayin li basar." If a ma'aretz can't eat meat, but a chacham could, so why does Moshe Rabbeinu say to Hashem, "Ma'ayin li basar"? Okay, he should have the level of basar. Peter shoyanai lema'ed melchinas gvura shel basar. Moshe Rabbeinu is infinitely greater than the level of gvura b'shabasar af kamesh achar abiru. Even after you refine the meat, that the meat causes this lavos of kedusha, Moshe Rabbeinu is higher than that. Because even that level of ava, of rish be'esh, is yesh mishayev. But Moshe Rabbeinu says nachnu ma, which is bechinas ayim v'tachas habitul. So he says, Av shebei yash gam kem bechinas estav is bechinas gevur. Even though Moshe Rabbeinu has that level also of the burning fire, his slavus is part of bittul ve'eino nikra gevuris bittul v'ayin v'u nikra bechinas gevuris da'aba. It's only the level of gevur of chokhmah, not the gevur that comes from, like he said, Av mashen gevurus anami bira basa, that's the level of gevur da'ema, gevur of bina, or gevur da'zah, she bechinas yash v'davish shenigras slavus, and that's Milsa Zultusi, and that by Moshe Rabbeinu, I'll explain in a second, is a level of ma'betachas a bittul. Let's make it simplify what the Alter Rebbe is saying. When Moshe Rabbeinu said in this week's parsha, "Mi'ayin li basar," where am I going to get meat from? So Hashem said to him, "Yad Hashem tiksa." Hashem got angry at him. He said, "What, are you doubting the ability of Hashem? You don't think I could do it?" So the question was, so what, Taka Moshe Rabbeinu, why did he say Ma'ayin li basar? Moshe Rabbeinu was Moshe Rabbeinu, complete bittul. When he doubted Hashem can do Ma'ayin li basar, I mean, so Chassidus explains, Moshe Rabbeinu was a level of Atzilus. Therefore, he was able to give the man. The man was lechem in Hashemayim, lechem abirim. The man was a level of Atzilus. Therefore, it had dew on top, dew at the bottom. Tal is a higher level, all the highest of levels. Moshe Rabbeinu comes along to Hashem. He says, "You want me to be mashpia, not chas v'sholom, he's dying." He didn't say mi'ayin l'cha basar. He didn't say to Hashem, "Where are you going to get meat from?" Moshe Rabbeinu said, "Mi'ayin li basar." How am I in the world going to be mashpia basar? You want it to go through me. How can I be mashpia basar? I have no shaykh to that level of basar. I'm Atzilus. You give me this level of basar, gvura, of bino, zal, whatever. I have no shaykh to it. No, so therefore he says, "V'zel she'amar." Right? This is what Moshe Rabbeinu said in the same parsha. The 600,000 feet that I'm standing on, Anochi Bekirbai. Peter, Sheish Me'es Elef Ragli Dora Midbar. Hoyu Tamidov, they were the Tamidim of Moshe Rabbeinu. Shoyu Gamkim Bechinis Yisayid Abba, which is the level of Bittul. Shazah Sha'anochi Bekirbai. Shemesha b'chinas ma v'ayin. So Moshe Rabbeinu is the level of bittul. V'ata marta basar et elam. And you want me to give him meat? Where do I get that? So Hashem told him, by the way, that's the whole inyan. Take the shivim skenim. They'll be there. They will be the mamutza between Moshe Rabbeinu and the Yidden. And through them, you'll be able to give meat. Which is the level of Moshe, and that's what it says. Ata, chachma nikra ata, demashma ata, ein tzavam lubish b'chachma. Titain basar, he says, you're telling me, v'ata, ubasar etein loim, meaning, zeh yefshe, sheyush bo kol kach, Moshe Rabbeinu says to Hashem, I cannot lower myself from the super lofty level, mimadrega geveya v'naila, which is chachma v'ayin, which is level of Moshe. It's impossible. Vim Kain, so Moshe Rabbeinu says, Eich hamazon, what?
It sounds so honored here.
He did. Another means you know exactly who you are. But you don't think that you're worth anything because compared to what you should be, you're a nothing. Moshe Rabbeinu knew that he was Atzilus. Okay? Moshe Rabbeinu is not to forget. This is all coming from Bittul. Because if Moshe Rabbeinu wouldn't have Bittul, he would think I could do anything. I could be Atzilus, I could do this, I'm great. I'm God's gift to the world, I could do anything.
You say I'm a sinner, I'm not shy to words.
That's a fact. That's a fact. It's not Gaiva. Moshe Rabbeinu knew he wasn't Atzilus. And Moshe Rabbeinu made because he thought, based on somebody who given his ability, that would be much greater. That's all. He says like this. In Cain, Amod Eich Hamazon Nimshach Yodai. How is through Moshe Rabbeinu going to come Basar? Shabbos Madrega Tachtein the Gambi Moshe Shu Yesh B'chinas Gvuras, because Basar is the level of Yesh in Gvura. And that's what Moshe Rabbeinu said to him. Tashem Atzeinu Baki Yishachet Lahem Pirim Yach Hashem B'chinas Gvuras. Therefore, they need the level of Shchita. In Cain Ech Efshel Yismaichel Lahem, which is you say Abba Tachas Bittul Anal. And he says like this: Imes Gold the Gay Ayam, all the fish is Naila Mitzeinu Bakar. Why? Hashem Tzar Shchita. Chassidus explains like this: we know meat and birds need Shchita. Fish doesn't need Shchita. I mean, the Rambam says taking out of the water, that is the Shchita. Okay, but the bottom line is, Shchita is to prepare it to be able to be elevated. So you need Shchita. Fish don't need Shchita. That means fish is a much greater level. It comes from Alma Discasia. Right? Fish come from the ocean, which is Alma Discasia. Basar comes from Alma Disgalia. Yeah? And like he says, Dogim is Naila Mitzeinu Bakar, but it doesn't need Shchita. The Afal became him the Muchan, the Gerem Madrigosam, we have Shishim Salam. Even fish is below me. I can't do it.
Fish suffer when they die.
Behemah doesn't suffer.
Before they know it, they're gone.
No, it's okay. By Behemah, they shake around for a while. The Rambam says that nobody should say that Shechita is because of cruelty to animals. The Rambam says because if so, Hashem shouldn't allow Shechita either way, if it's cruelty to animals. It's the least cruel way, but if you're saying Hashem says Shechita because He doesn't want us to be cruel to animals, then He shouldn't have allowed us to eat animals. We shouldn't be able to do Shechita at all. Shechita elevates the animal.
Well, that's why we make the sakin, the knife, so
smooth.
So smooth because
it's still suffering the animal. The bottom line is, so Moshe Rabbeinu, but now we have to understand. So now he's out there, he's going to go in Gimel. So what does it mean? Hashem says to Moshe Rabbeinu, "Why are you doubting Hashem?" Moshe Rabbeinu is not doubting Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu is saying, I cannot be the intermediary to bring the Batzeinu Bakar. Right? Are you making Hashem's hand short, so to speak? Even though you're higher than the Yesh of Basar, because you're at the level of Ma'u Bittul, Afal Pikain. Hayad Hashem Tiksa B'Tmiyah. Hashem is wondering, what do you mean, you're doubting? What is that? Not answering the question, what Moshe Rabbeinu said. Because the truth is, Hashem is telling Moshe Rabbeinu, you're telling me, Chachma Vatzilus can't come down to Yesh. Chochma Atzilus is bittul. So he says, you don't think lahamshech v'lishpel af me'ayin the chochma should naila b'yosef. M'nei me'eit l'establish the gaus matamata b'gvur seyeshir al-basar. You don't think I can make the chochma of Atzilus coming down into the yesh? You don't think I can do it? Hashem is above both, so he can do both. Shegam b'chinas yesh al-basar, because Hashem says that reality is in the flesh, in the yesh al-basar. Yizgala bitul the chochma ki yad Hashem yochol yishafel ma'ed l'mata. Because Hashem, the highest levels, can come all the way down. Let's skip to the mamish 3 words from the end of the page. Skip the parentheses here. And he said, "V'zeh onyin aslav." What was the slav? Eifish shmanim me'ed, very fatty, juicy birds. Maskin and not leisirifta. B'achreina in analchatzayir taruvis mireva shuman nivlebei. Because it's so fatty, you have to mix it with other things. The Indian, so what does it mean? It was a shaman. Shemen is a level of chokhmah. Shaman is shemen. It's a level, shemen is a level of chokhmah. Shulchakim v'lei b'chokhmah yadiyah, which is a level of chokhmah. U'be'elam hazeh agashmi. Gam ken ha-shemen b'chinas chokhmah. Even down here, oil is a level of chokhmah. Right? Oil. Shenishtaushe b'chinas chokhmah shelamayla comes to the level of chokhmah from above. V'ateiresh b'chinas chokhmah ilah is called shemen. Teira, which is chokhmah v'atzilus, is called shemen. V'zeu inyan aslav shesham einu b'chinas chokhmah nimshech v'nispashit b'basar. It comes even into the, and he said, basar aslav is also gvura. V'ashamen shabai, the fattiness of it, that's the level of b'chinas chokhmah ma'ava ayin. Hainu shenimshech habitul gam b'chinas yesh the basar. So what happened with the slav? Hashem showed Moshe Rabbeinu like this. They're fatty birds. So bird, he said before, is a level of gvura. But it's a fatty bird. That means it's chokhmah. So this is the level of chokhmah coming down into the level of gvura, which is yesh. That's why Hashem gave him the slav. Well, they said, where's the beef? Hashem didn't give him the cows. He gave him the slav. Right?
Steak?
No, not steak.
Then if this is the case, then how come Hashem got upset?
With Moshe Rabbeinu.
Not with Moshe.
Because they asked Shaloi Kahagan. He said when they wanted man and water, there was a proper request. They needed it. It's a staple. They needed it. And the man tastes like anything else. All of a sudden they said, Bilti ala man einenu, we're sick and tired of the man. Hashem said, what type of chutzpah is that?
Why they were complaining? They had man.
Why do Jews complain?
No, but they had the man, they had the cattle, they could have just do the barbecue right then and there. Why would they want meat or whatever?
Because Jews complain. Jews complain, period.
If Inyan is bringing Chokhmah down to Yesh, it makes sense. So why did Hashem get upset?
Because that's not what they asked it for.
So from Moshe
One second. If a guy threshes meat, he lowers into Shomskis tomatoes, right? He made a bracha. The answer is, that's not what his intent. His intent is not to elevate the meat to Kedusha. It's elevate to enjoy it. Same thing with when the Eden came to Shmuel HaNavi and said, we want a melech. Yeah? There's a pasuk, so Shmuel screamed at them. What do you need a melech for? It's a pasuk in Tehillim, in Chumash. Same tasim malach melech. There's a mitzvah in the Torah to make a king. So now the Jews come to Shmuel, we want a king, he gets angry at them. So the simple answer Mefarshim all give, the pasuk alludes to itself. The Jews asked, we want a king like all the other nations. Not because they want to have the level of Malchus down here, all that stuff. They asked for the wrong reason. Okay? When the Jews asked for Basar, it wasn't to bring down the Yeshiv, Chochma, Vatzilas into Gvura. Oh, brilliant.
So,
They Shalu Shalai Kahagan. They didn't, it was improper. They didn't ask it because they want to elevate the food. A guy sits down to fres, he's not doing it to elevate the food. Then it wouldn't be so bad. By the way, if he would do that, he wouldn't eat a lot. Very little. Tzaddik oichel is seva nafshe. A tzaddik eats. There's the Friedrich Rebbe says, there's a pasuk we say in Heidu before Pasuk Leo in Tillim. Re'evim gam tzemeim, nafshem b'em tesatov. They're hungry, they're thirsty. Re'evim gam tzemeim, nafshem, the soul is enclosed within them. Yeah, atifa is enclosed within them. So Friedrich Rebbe says, it says like this, in a spiritual level, why are people hungry and thirsty? Because nafshem b'em tesatov, the nefesh wants to elevate the food. It says, why did Hashem make that eating is such a big taiva? If you think about it, Hashem could have made us that we don't have to eat. He could have made us function without eating. Yeah, why did Hashem make that we have to eat? Twice a day according to Allah, Shabbos, 3 times a day. Why did Hashem make it? He could make once a month we eat, or once a year. I mean, we could be camels, whatever. So the answer is, nafshem ben tesata, because Hashem wants us to elevate the food. If a person wouldn't be hungry or thirsty, why would he eat? Why would he eat?
going to get hungry.
Huh?
Going to get hungry.
That's because of Bechira. It has to be everything the same. So Hashem makes everything the same. But Reivim Gam Tzemeim, why? Nafshem Ben Tesata, because the Nefesh wants to elevate the food. That's the reason why they get hungry and thirsty.
Just a little bit to say the bracha.
To elevate the food, that's all.
What about ice cream?
No comment. It depends. If it's Shavuos, it's a biblical mitzvah. If it's the rest of the year, maybe not.